Should we be deporting visitors to the United States who are championing the destruction of the United States? That's what's talked about by Douglas Murray over here in this clip. We're going to watch it together and then talk about it. Before we watch this clip, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Check this out.
I think this has been an extraordinary case, Will, and if I can say so at the outset, I always like to say when the issue of Mahmoud Khalil comes up, that he has become such a free speech hero for sections of the left and the right in America. But I always say, whenever they try to make him some kind of martyr, remember the name Edan Alexander. He is a 21-year-old who was born in New Jersey and is still, after 18 months, being held by the terrorist group Hamas in Gaza. If the people who had campaigned for Khalil's release or freedom had spent the last 18 months calling for the freedom of the actual kidnapped victim, the person who has actually been denied all of his rights and much more, Edan Alexander, then I'd be interested to hear these people's thoughts on Khalil. But they didn't. They have spent the last 18 months not just excusing the massacre, but in the case of Khalil and his group at Columbia University, actually praising the massacre. Let me just read, if I may, very quickly, two statements that every American should know about. The first is that the group, Columbia University Apartheid Divest, called October the 7th, the massacre that I write about in my book, quote, a moral, military, and political victory. Now, one of the other things that everyone should know about this group is that one of the things they call for, in their own words, is, quote, they say they are, quote, fighting for the total eradication of Western civilization. I'll read that again because it's so unbelievable. They are fighting for the total eradication of Western civilization. Now, I suggest that Marco Rubio, Secretary Rubio, was completely right when he said some weeks ago, what country would invite people into the country and allow them all the advantages of the country if the person in question uses their time in the country to destroy the country? Not just by, as in the case of Khalil and his group, intimidating Jewish students and threatening Jewish students and hounding them across their places of study, but by abusing the staff at the university, by physically harming people who worked there as janitors, by shutting down public buildings, by shutting down public highways, by many other things. What country in its sane mind would allow people in to do that? If I went and moved to Paris on a student visa, I think one of the things I would not do whilst there would be to try to overthrow the French state. Because if I did, I'd guess that I could get into trouble. This is not about the First Amendment's rights of an American citizen. This is about somebody coming to America who used his time in America to campaign and wage war against America.
It seems like this should be a pretty straightforward thing. It is a privilege to enter into the United States of America. If you were applying for a green card or any other mechanism of coming here, and you were to state on your application that your goal is to destroy Western civilization, that would probably not allow you into the United States. And so if you did not state that, and it was later found out that you do hold those beliefs and you do not only espouse those things, but you do gather people together to accomplish that goal, you should be removed from the country. You never would have been let in the first place had you stated that openly. This doesn't seem to be anything esoteric or mysterious or anything that should be really even up for debate. Why is this even a question? Love to hear your comments below. And if you like this content overall, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Take care.